let's talk about City for just a bit so that you can get away with the big teams first. City yesterday lost 2-1. They looked ill at ease. They just looked a bit ill at ease.
I totally get you.
They looked ill at ease. Like,
yeah, first of all, losing Rodri, it showed that we lacked in the midfield because when Pep tried to play 2-8s, Matthias Nunes and Kovacic to try and cover the middle of the park, as much as we really did try to get into the final third, Wolves were just so good trying to defend, and we weren't more direct. Yes, we had Doku trying to do some things, Alvarez with the perfect free kick for us. I just think that we lacked some of the players in the team were nowhere to be seen. The likes of Foden and Haaland, they were nowhere to be seen from the start till the end of the match. And Nathan Ake was being terrorized by Neto throughout the whole match. And I think we really need to style our game, up our game, because like Eli said, Arsenal are on a good run. They're on a good momentum, and if we don't style up our game, they might beat us.
you sound like you're panicking, Baba. It's just one defeat. Relax. It's two. No, ignore Carabao. It's one Premier League defeat.
My only problem is
you've had a wonderful start to the season. You're missing a big chunk of your key players. And yesterday was just an odd game. When he threw on that small boy as a sub,
Bob,
I was
surprised.
I was like, this man is joking today. Like, of everyone else, the first sub is that one. That's the point where I thought, Pep seems to, and even his post-match comments, Chep.
Yes.
He was so gracious. He was like, no, they played well, they defended well, they did great, they were they were so good,
guy.
they beat us, and the Korean guy, he said in the
previous one.
But in the post, he was so nice and graceful, and I was like, am I the only one who thought he was odd? He was oddly gracious to lose, and the way this was a better team. And then he was asked, "What does this mean?" I don't know whether you guys watched the presser. And he was asked, "Oh, but what do you think about complacency?" He said, "No, this team has won this. It's won 5 Carabao Cups, like you said. I don't know how many Premier Leagues it's done. This team cannot be." He was so nice, and I was there. I was like, that Pep is normally not that nice. I don't know what you get, but I just felt.
He was too relaxed.
He was too nice. He was too complimentary. I don't know whether you watched it. If you watched it, you know what I mean.
I watched the interview as well, and I was kind of surprised looking at how he got to analyze the game. But we trusted Pep.
But credit to Wolves as well, getting the 3 points. As you said, especially the midfield. Remember last week I asked you if City will miss Rodri. Yeah. I think you really missed Rodri because that midfield was sort of overrun, especially on counter-attacks. You were very, very vulnerable on the counter-attacks, and Wolves took their chances, especially that final goal, the second goal.
Yeah.
Defensively, it was so unlike City. They were all over the place. So I think just missing Rodri. And it will be now interesting now as they playing Arsenal in the next game. It will be really interesting to see how they cope. But yeah.
Bernardo is asking, he's saying, credit to Wolves, the only thing I can say today. Also, I don't know why Ake starts ahead of Vardiol. I honestly thought Vardiol was rested. Because he's played a lot of games this season. I thought he'd been rested, like, let's just rest the guy for the day.
But I actually thought maybe Pep would bring him in the second half because Ake was chasing shadows.
Had a very, very difficult game.
Yes, Sammy.
Well, first of all, the team selection, I was really surprised that he went on with Nunes and Kovacic and left Calvin Phillips on the bench. I don't know what that means for Calvin Phillips now. Maybe he should be considering his options if he can't start when Rodri is unavailable.
I thought the other way around. I don't think Calvin Phillips can go 3 games in a week.
Okay.
So he had to pick one in which not to have him, because he has to have him next Sunday versus the Arsenal, and maybe in the Champions League. So he played. Did he play in the Newcastle game?
Yeah,
I think he played.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think he was like, he can't play all these games back to back because clearly something is not right with Calvin Phillips.
Yeah.
Clearly, I don't think he's got the fitness to go week in, week out. So I thought it was a case of, this is just Wolves. Let's try.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but that's the way I felt. Like, it's just Wolves. I'll be very, very surprised if Calvin Phillips doesn't start against Arsenal.
He doesn't start. Okay. So no cause for alarm.
I haven't. Yeah.
Okay, but for Wolves, as you said, Hilda, it's credit to them and how they approached that game. you know, when we saw them play against Liverpool, they switched off in the second half, and probably everyone thought that after that goal from Julian Alvarez, they were going to crumble yet again. But it was hard graft from those guys, and those are the only guys I want to credit for this game, as Bernardo has tweeted there. Matthias Cunha, he was really brilliant, holding up the ball and sacrificing himself in the middle of the park. Brilliant game from him. Ryan At-Nouri also on the left hand side, he had a good game. And Pedro Neto, he's going to be a different guy this season. He already has 5 goals this season. And what he did to Nathan Hake, as you said, it was brilliant. So
can we give marks to the coach, because this coach should be at Bournemouth.
That back three was
Like
really
he
nice.
should be the one at Bournemouth. But then they decided, no, we want to go a different way. You know?
And remember when you made our predictions, I guess 3 out of 5 here made
I had
that
Wolves
are
actually
going
in
to
the,
get
in the
relegated.
relegation. Yes.
But here's Gary O'Neill. He's doing the job. With
No,
the guys out there.
I'm really impressed with. He seems to find a way.
Yes.
I think he's underrated as a coach. I don't know why.
Well,
Doesn't he speak well? There's something that makes them just underrate him.
yes.
Because he seems to do the one I was never convinced is this new poor man's Arteta. That one and I told you from no. Oh, he comes with a great. I'm like no.
From the same region as Arteta.
Yeah, that's why I call him poor man's Arteta. I was like, you can't kick out a guy who saved you from January.
Yeah.
Then you just kick him out because I want to go. They should get relegated. I'd be very happy.
Yeah, but then they've also played some really tough matches. Bournemouth. They
Yeah.
played some tough matches.
Yeah, but they've played.
The next run should be.
How many
friendly
games
to
have
them.
they won?
Well, they haven't.
They haven't
They haven't won a game yet. I agree. Well, I'm still waiting to see, because it was a big shift for him moving from La Liga and coming through to the Premier
Anyway,
League.
yeah. Look, did I read anything? I didn't read too much into it. City have started the season the way they don't. City normally just walk around
Usually,
unsure of what they are doing.
Yeah.
They try fancy
the
things.
first
Then
one.
they wake up in January and they win everything.
Yeah.
This one has been very unusual.
Uh-huh.
So it didn't bother me much. I just thought it was odd when I saw that boy put on it as a sub.
Yeah,
I was
Oliver
like,
Bob.
it's like, who is that?
Yeah, he also played against Newcastle.
I was like, but this is the Premier League. Who is that? Why not put Grealish as the first guy? Like I was like, I thought, I don't read too much into it.
But then having watched that game against Newcastle, of course you don't really
I-
rate it and
Nah.
against Wolves. These are the couple of games last season probably when you talked about City not having a good game, but they came up with points, and that's thanks to Bernardo Silva being available, or Rodri coming up clutch, or or even Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne. They don't have them.
And that
now.
right there is
Yeah.
the reason why I'm saying I don't read too much into it. This is a team that is minus its
6.
main midfield.
Yeah.
It's minus Rodri,
Yes.
KDB,
and
Bernardo Silva.
Yes.
That's their middle three.
Yes.
Yeah. Those are their key guys. And despite they've missed KDB since the first day of the season.
Yes.
They are second on the log. The best player in the Premier League. They are
They're
second
top.
on the
They're
They are top.
top,
They are
actually.
top. They are top.
Yeah.
Without their best player, they are top. Without their second best player, who's Bernardo Silva, in a lot of ways in terms of putting, they are still going. They lost Gundogan, they are still going. Like they are a team that just seamlessly seems to continue going. I honestly think they are ahead of their normal, typical schedule. What they always do. City never start with 5 wins out of 5 and 6
Yeah,
wins
true.
out of City
Usually
fumble
2 wins.
around,
Usually.
and then all of a sudden they decide, November, December, by the way, you're playing.
Yeah.
And then they just start to put on the results. This one they have done well without playing great. Also, let's be honest, City haven't had a super great performance like
Yeah,
the way they
they
destroyed
haven't.
United last season 6-3.
Yeah.
They still haven't had something like that. But they're still somewhere in there. So I look at it and I was like, well, it's a blip.
Yeah, wait, but
There is nothing I have seen about it that made me go like, Alan Bell. See the way he's going all Alan Bells.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the Premier League. Every once in a while you get ukikaa tu hivi mbaya unapatikana. And when you go back to Wolves have a thing with City.
yes.
Wolves have a
They
thing.
have a
If you
funny
go back to the
history
days
with
of
them.
Traore.
Yeah.
2019, yes.
Yeah,
they beat
Molly
them at
is not
the
a good
Etihad.
yeah, they
as
just
well.
have
Yeah.
they have a thing. You know, there's always a
Season.
team that has a thing.